Let's give it a minute to make sure it's properly stable.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody.
Gave me some time to go get my niece.
Yes, food.
My sister had to rush back into work. And my mom needed me to grab my niece from the car.
Ah. Don't forget, when quickly grabbing a child, throw over your shoulder and carry it like you're a fireman. And then slam dunk the child into a laundry bin.
Yes.
I mean, you're not far off the truth on that one.
There is no other appropriate way to hold a child.
Okay, I think we're good. My thing went back to being purple.
Alright. Again, keep us updated. If it happens again, we will probably postpone and then probably switch over to maybe playing Cards Against Humanity or something.
Okay, which
if
we
everyone
can...
still wants to do anything.
Yeah, which that can be streamed or nah. I would just need time to change things on OBS.
Yeah. It's a shame, but at the same time, if we can't properly record the session, then I don't want to play the session because then Armored won't have the VOD to look back at.
Yeah.
It's not like the one that we had where it was explicitly meant to be.
Yeah. Like, if I'm designing it for a character not to be present, then a character's not going to be present.
Yeah.
Alright. So, yeah. I think we should just bed down.
What if they find us? What if they come in like 10 minutes? I don't know what they're gonna do.
Keta, we'll at least have time to sit and catch our breath while we wait.
I'm just scared. Okay?
That's understandable.
Give me a minute, I need to go scream in the woods.
That might help, honestly. Don't wander too far, though.
Keta will kind of step
That
up
was the sound Keta made.
Sorry, that was Captain.
I know, but it's just so appropriate that she just runs away and they all hear that sound.
I thought it was a cat.
No, it's a dog. He's a Chihuahua mix.
No, I know. I thought it was a cat. I thought it was from Andy's background. I don't know.
and then she'll come quickly running back up. I think I'm good.
You sounded like a fox.
That sometimes.
Tries.
But I think I'll be good. I think I'll be good. Kind of just hugs Lee from the side. Like, I'll be good. I'll be fine.
He lets go of the rod with one hand and just pats your head.
Tap, tap.
By the way, Failsy, this whole time you've been inspecting the rod. If you want to go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Yep. Okay, Arcana. Huh? 20.
Alright then.
As he peers into the depths of the infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And explodes.
Okay. From what you can gather, just without, like, taking the proper full time without a, like, proper enchanting table and everything to be able to study this, you can gather that this definitely is a magical item designed to siphon energy out of something. Exactly what it's siphoning energy to, you can't figure that out with just a, like, essentially a cursory glance. But you do find, like, subtle enchantments and other little inscriptions on the rod that do seem to be implying that it is a siphon of some form.
Where are you going to?
Bed.
Oh, not you. I'm wondering where this little rod is sending its energy to. It's not staying here.
Do we set up a watch just in case something eats us?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I'm too anxious to go to sleep right now, so I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Mm.
So,
What is Graydon doing with wild magic?
Probably be best if I were to take darkest part of the night.
that would technically be right now because it's already nighttime.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe me and you can stay up together, Morrigan.
alright, if you want to.
It's like that.
Alright, so it's gonna be Keta and Mordegon. Then this would be getting into the essentially early morning watch, which is still dark but not as dark because it's not quite sunrise. The sun would start to rise by the end of the watch.
Yeah.
Then once the sun is risen, you guys probably don't need to do watches, but if you want to complete a long rest, you'll have to continue the rest.
Mm.
Probably getting up around
Mm.
10 in the morning.
Mm.
10, 11 in the morning.
Brimstone can do that.
Alright. So it'll be Keta and Mordegon for the first watch. Trinche cannot take a watch as he is out of it already.
Yeah, he needs the time to recover.
I'll assume then that it'll be not Trinche, but Mordegon and Keta, then Brimstone, then Failsy, and then Lee having the final watch.
That's fine.
Alright. So, first watch, Dead of the Night.
For about a minute, Keta will finally let all the energy out that she's been storing up and just gain some flight for a bit. At least for a minute.
Keta explodes.
Stress smoke.
Stress suck.
No, that's bad for you.
Jazz.
Well, I can assist you, Morgan, if you want.
I mean, sure, just let me...
I would say this would probably be a case where you both just make a perception check.
Yeah, me on the ground, you in the air, that kind of thing.
Jazz.
16.
Okay. Keta, you're more distracted by the thought of just like a plateau and expecting like an army to start come marching towards you. Like just
Yeah.
seeing a literal warpath being cut through the forest and then not actually seeing that happen. But it's still got you stressed out. Mordegon, you're a bit more paying attention to the actual forest around you.
Mm-hmm.
And just checking a thing real quick. You don't see anything throughout your watch. Nothing seems to come towards camp or bother you. At one point, you just hear a as Osnick farts in his sleep.
Just laughing to herself and waving her hand over her nose like, oh, gross.
Yeah, it's a goblin fart.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's as bad as a blind kitty fart.
Yes.
You know which particular
Yes.
blind cat I'm referring to. It is not pleasant.
It's about as bad as one of her farts. And it persists, it just lingers. But aside from some awful smell that lasts for about 30 minutes, nothing actually happens throughout your guys' watch.
Well, now we know not to give him pancakes.
He farted more than once, to be fair.
Okay. I was like,
I mean, he's a goblin. He doesn't have a concept of social norms about not farting, especially when he's asleep.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Probably still got a half-eaten pancake over top of him as blanket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a giant flapjack just resting over his tiny goblin body.
Pardon me, sorry.
You're good.
So we'll then settle down next to Lee and probably pass out.
Just use his arm as a pillow.
Yes.
As he's essentially just T-posing on the ground.
Just folds one half of it over her.
This is my blanket.
Alright, and
This is my blanket and my pillow.
I don't remember who it was said was next in watch, so before Mortigun lays down, she will...
Brimstone.
Brimstone.
Okay, well then she will just go and nudge Brimstone awake.
Okay.
Your turn. And then she'll just go lay down next to Da Vinci, not like trying to cuddle up to him or anything, but like if anything happens, I can quickly start helping him kind of position.
Fair enough. I had to take Felzy out from being underneath a rock.
Oh, she was underneath the rock?
Yeah, you were underneath a rock for some reason.
She was on the rock on mine.
This is where Failsy is choosing to sleep.
I mean, she is a snake.
Buries herself under rubble.
We've all seen the snakes do the shimmy sham.
Yep.
Alright, Brimstone, go ahead and make your perception check.
Okay. Fuck. Okay, I guess.
Alright. I mean, it's a 21 on perception, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh.
I have to get a table.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't like that.
Oh, if it's the good table, like what I think, then this could end up being fun. He has a location in our Sunday game that he may have in this world that is honest to God fun.
Yeah, but it would really interrupt a rest right now.
Yeah, it would.
we'll just have to deal with exhaustion come more.
You guys wouldn't have exhaustion just because you don't get a full long rest. You just wouldn't gain the benefits of a long rest.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like, as
that
long
means
as you... Yeah.
a lot of people with low on spells.
Yeah. Alright then. Brimstone, if you would please roll for me a d20.
11.
11. Alrighty then. I love when I have to cross-reference my various note sheets.
Oh. Oh no.
Uh-oh, here comes some goblins who don't like us.
No, it's not the negative table.
Oh. It's the super negative one. Hey, son. Son.
Oh no, it's Game Master again.
No.
Play Silent Hill 2?
Just, hey, Brimstone, you ever wonder what it looked like if your teeth were outside of your body? I can make you.
Just pointing. Just take that one. I don't care.
You say he's just pointing at Felzy?
Just take her. I don't care.
Brimstone, you hear a sound outside of camp. A sort of like creaking wood sound.
What?
Did you hear what I said?
No, yeah, I did. Kind of looking around a bit more.
It's just like a very gentle
Does it sound like it's getting closer?
A little bit. Like, with your natural 20 on perception, it sounds like it's maybe not coming directly towards the camp, but like going at an angle that might either take it through or very close by the camp.
Okay.
It almost
Not
sounds like old cartwheels turning.
On the map, there's a road.
Yeah, that's actually not technically a road, that's
It
the
was their marching
footpath
path.
that the goblins stomped down.
Yeah.
It's like an old road that's not in use anymore.
Yeah.
That if it weren't for them having marched through here, it would have been completely overgrown.
How's the cart doing out here?
Yeah. And you do actually more or less hear it coming from this direction.
Okay.
Sort of in the same direction you all came from.
Right. Kinda. Be at the ready if something needs to happen, but not really moving.
Alright then. From your all's current position, since I assume your camp is set up pretty close to the actual mouth of the cave, like how you all have yourselves positioned right now, you can't see what's going on down there.
Okay.
But you can essentially hear as the wagon wheels just are getting closer and closer. And you can hear, but it sounds like the cart suddenly stops.
That's fucking.
What are you doing in this moment?
Is there any other sounds coming from roughly that direction? Like people moving, or just the cart just stops?
Make... I'll say make an intelligence check to see if you can maybe identify what the sound is.
Okay. 12.
It doesn't sound like a big, like, caravan cart. It almost sounds like a single person pulled wagon. Like a hand cart.
Oh, okay.
But
Kind of stand up, move here.
as you move to where your perspective is no longer to the having the fire in front of you, but rather it having backlit you,
Mm-hmm.
your dark vision actually starts to pick up again as you peer out into the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You just see, sort of standing underneath this tree over here, a robed figure wearing it's actually hard to see from where you currently are, but you just see a robed figure basically wearing just a very long, sort of draping black robe that you can't see any of their actual features because of it.
Does it look well kept or like tattered?
The robe itself looks well kept until you get down towards the edges where it looks almost as if it's dragging the ground and is a little bit tattered and torn at the edges because of that. It looks like a very well-used traveler's robe. Almost like the sort of thing you would wear to keep rain off of you.
Uh-huh.
But they are just standing and facing the camp. Oddly enough, you don't see a face underneath the robe's hood.
Even though they're looking up towards
Yeah.
us.
Even though they are facing towards you, at this distance, you do not see a face.
Can I see the cart?
You can see, like, just the edges of it. Like, let me
Okay.
check something real quick. Yeah, you'd be able to see just the edges of it. It looks like a small cart, but it's sort of almost like a wheelbarrow where
Uh-huh.
it dips down. And you could just see that there are various little things popping out of the top of it, but you can't see anything in strict detail because it's at the edge of your dark vision.
Okay. Just kind of look at the robed figure. How do you want?
Its head slowly tilts to the side. And it actually starts moving towards you. Not at a fast pace, mind you, but just,
More of a walk.
yeah, just like it's walking up to you. Are you doing
Okay.
anything? Are you moving to stop it or intercept it or just letting it walk up?
Like moving further away from camp. Like right there.
Alright. So yeah. It doesn't take that many steps, and this figure is not particularly large now that you're getting a closer look at it. Whereas before, from its perspective, thought it was easily your height, if not taller. As you get closer, it looks considerably smaller.
Like
It's almost like it was a weird optical illusion because it's almost as if it's shrunk getting closer to you.
like are we talking like Keta small or like halfling small?
It's more like dwarf small. It's about
Okay.
4.5 feet tall.
So that middle.
Yeah. It's just weird because when you first saw it, you could have sworn it was 6 or 7 feet tall. Currently, all you see under the shadow of the robe is its mouth. And its sort of pearlescent white skin. Hello, traveler.
Hi.
Do you seek wares?
Just kind of just looked over it, like kind of towards the cart, but not like trying to see what's there, and just look back at it and just depends on what you have.
What do you seek? By the way, as it speaks, you do not see its mouth moving.
Just at that question, Brimstone just kind of stares forward. It's like, that's a good question.
One many must ask.
It sounds weirdly philosophical.
The head just slowly tilts to the side again. Do you seek?
Yeah, I guess everybody seeks something.
You get the sense that it is specifically asking if there's anything you're looking for.
I guess nothing in particular, no.
All right. And it just sort of turns and starts walking back towards its cart.
Just kind of look to the ground where it just had walked, and is it leaving footprints?
In a way, it's not like a boot print and it's not like a footprint, but you just see these thin little, almost as if you had jabbed a sword or a javelin into the ground, just these little spiked indents into the ground.
Basically looking like almost like fence post holes. Well, no, yeah.
Yeah, but they're very small.
Just kind of following it with his eyes as it walks away.
You just see it walk over to its cart and stand in front of it as the two bars that normally you would reach down to and grab them to pick it up just sort of lift into the air beside it. And it just starts walking along the path again. You just hear that slowly getting further away.
The fuck?
And that's all that happens during your watch.
Go and wake up whoever's next.
That would be Failsy.
Oh. My turn to do the watching stuff.
Magic and some such. Alrighty then.
So, perceptioning.
Yep, perception check.
8.
Alrighty then.
Rosie's distracted. She found her wife box and is fiddling with it again.
I also need you to roll a d20.
Oh boy.
18.
Alright. Whereas for Brimstone, I rolled a natural 20 for the table. For you, I rolled a natural 1.
Oh, God.
So, is this a bad thing?
It could be.
Maybe.
They're just different tables that have varying degrees of good to bad to interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, it could still be good.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there's just more bad on the natural 1 table than there is good.
Well, yeah.
Alright then. But an 18 is actually not a terrible result. Actually, it's not even a bad result, but I do have to roll a probability check because this could be potentially really bad. I'm gonna roll this publicly. If it's above a 95, this could be bad.
Okay.
But actually, if it's above a 90, this could be bad.
Okay.
Okay, that's not bad. Failsy, throughout your watch, it's fairly uneventful. Until towards the point where the sun is finally starting to come up, and you finally stop and you're almost getting to the point where you stop being able to see the stars. One of the stars is really bright. Is it getting closer? It's part of your watch where you just see a star fall from the sky.
Where is that going? Get back here, Star. I need you.
Make a perception check and see if you can figure out what direction it's going in, because it's about a minute to 2 minutes later when everyone is going to need to make a Constitution saving throw to see if they can stay asleep, as there is a sudden in the distance.
Maybe is it worth using a point to try that one again?
I don't think you have a point right now.
I still haven't done my fate point because every time I go to use it, it's like, no, this isn't really worth it. This is flavor.
I don't know. Is it worth it to you?
It's up to you.
Well, I got a nat 1 on that one.
You
I got a
didn't
4.
roll it yet?
I rolled perception. I got 5.
All right. Well, you can attempt to use your dominate fate and roll another d20. Take your preferred roll at that point.
Yeah, this is just
So worse.
The world, you can dominate fate all you want, but the world does not want you to know where this landed. You know it's landed somewhere to the north. It seemed to have hit the mountainside.
Shall we make that con save now?
Yeah. Alright. Keta is suddenly stirred to awareness. Brimstone, you barely have even fallen asleep at this point.
Son of a bitch, what did you do?
Morrigan, you are stirred to awareness.
Let Failsy alone.
The fuck happened?
Just sleep already drawn the gun, not just pointing it out.
ironically at Felzy.
Travince is still somehow asleep.
Yeah, just...
It's not my fault.
I did actually roll, and he rolled a 19, so he is still asleep.
Huzzah!
What
Kat
the
has to
fuck
try
is-
to pry herself up from underneath Lee.
Oh yeah, I have to roll for Lee. Depending on how Lee's roll, Keta might have an easy time getting up.
yeah. She might be springboarded.
Keta, you are springboarded. Or not, you're not like thrown into the air, but you were suddenly sat up as Lee sits up and you were resting on top of him.
What?
Okay.
What happened?
Is the ship being attacked?
The ship's not being attacked.
Cannon!
What the fuck happened?
What happened?
We're not on it. I don't know. I just woke up.
Yeah, somebody threw a star at the mountain.
Whoa.
It just so happened to happen on your watch.
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay,
I can't blame Failsy for that.
a star fell out of the sky and hit the mountain up to the north.
Well, let's not go. Let's just go back to bed and leave it be.
Star.
Whatever causes a star to fall out of the sky, I don't want to touch it. We're already going to be in enough shit for touching something we already shouldn't have touched.
If you all want to actually make history checks,
Okay.
Sure.
as this is not an uncommon occurrence.
That's a better
Scene.
stat for Felzy.
What's Brimstone's situation right now?
Just like
I'm hyper aware of all situations at the moment because I do not want to have my head stomped in by my previous lover.
apparently. I think this one is more just okay, that sounds extreme even for Failsy.
Alright, so Keta, you have a basic understanding about this. I'll go ahead and say what you understand.
Eh.
Stars falling from the sky, it's not really something that's... It's not something you'd have to worry about in the same way you guys are currently worrying about the situation with the cave. Collecting the material that falls from a star is usually something that is pretty valuable and lucrative because it's skills that don't normally exist in this world. Some think them to be literally materials that fall from elsewhere.
Okay.
You know, it's just typically really valuable stuff inside of them.
Kenta's just gonna remember that and just grab her blanket and curl back up. I was like, I'm not dealing with this.
Brimstone, you remember something very similar. Though you also very specifically remember one of the other military people you served with who basically built their entire arsenal around materials recovered from fallen stars.
Oh. Yeah.
A specific Western person. Not strictly part of the military, but someone who occasionally helped stock the military either with weaponry or with just knowledge about what they were going to be dealing with. Yeah, you've seen some of the crap that this material can do by seeing him in work sometimes.
If we weren't on a time constraint, that might actually be worth investigating.
Why is that?
I don't specifically know what that stuff is. I don't think it's actual stars falling. But what's in there can be pretty valuable to the right buyer.
Well, as long as it's not a threat to everyone else, then I think we should just go back to sleep.
I don't think it is.
You would know that, according to Patton, it's sometimes an issue because sometimes when it's elsewhere, or he seemed very adamant that it was coming from somewhere else, not elsewhere, but you've got no reason to believe otherwise. He was just very... There being other planes of existence. Crazy, isn't it?
I mean, the guy I know who messes with this stuff swears to something. I don't fucking know. He always said it in gnomish or whatever the fuck. He's pretty sure it doesn't come from fucking magic elsewhere. That's what it's called. I don't fucking.
Yeah.
Dude's kind of a nut. I don't know. Not important. Probably won't kill us. Let's go back to fucking sleep.
Alright. Just at that point, like, I think it'd be funny. Motogon just now notices that Dravenche slept through all that. Just... I'm jealous. Just flays back down.
Yeah, lucky bastard.
They come here, I need my blanket.
You already have my arm. Like, when you, said you, tucked yourself back in with your blanket, you literally just grabbed his hand and put it over you. Okay, I'm going back to sleep. Except it's my watch.
Yeah.
Just stumbles over to Brimstone and just... Fine. I'll warm up over here.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Failsy, after the explosion, you finally remember. Oh yeah, the wife box was counting down. And now, for the third session in a row, let me dig up my notes for what was in the wife box.
Whatever 63 was.
Yeah. Well, I already wrote down the item.
Just gotta find it.
Yeah.
It's a pipe bomb.
Just a bomb.
Found the source of the ticking. It's a pipe bomb. Yay!
It's a note. It says, I prepared explosive runes today.
It's just a fortune cookie. Just pops it open and it's just, you're looking very pretty today, and then signed by Jamel.
No.
No, that's too cute.
No, it's just a box. You open it, it just bites your face off.
Jesus.
It's like, oh no, Felzy had a bag of devouring in the box.
Oh god.
Reaches in, disappears
Oh.
in.
I forgot that was what was in the box.
Oh.
You open up the box, and it just has a jar in it.
A
Just
jar?
a jar that appears to be completely sealed in wax, so you can't see the contents. You can just see like the rim of the glass of the jar and the thick wax stopper that's in the top of it.
You can see jar.
Gives it a little shake to see if she can hear what's in it.
It sounds like there's a very viscous liquid inside. Like if you ever grabbed one of those like jars of slime that they sell at a lot of like toy stores.
Oh.
Oh
you
yeah, you're not
shake it
hearing.
Huh?
Those putty jars.
Yeah, where you just shake it, it just goes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's making that sound when you shake it.
Oh, nice.
Like just a weird squelching sound.
There's no label.
No, it is just completely coated in wax, so it is like padded from being bumped against the. And it's not particularly big either. The wife box was not super large, and this fits inside of it.
What on earth is it? Okay. Fauzi cracks it open to take a look.
Like you pull the wax seal off.
Maybe it's just a jam jar.
I mean, it's possible.
Oh no.
Did I just get jam?
You pull the top of the wax seal off, and you're immediately just hit with a terrible acrid smell.
Oh.
Leave.
It's like before you even fully get the lid off, you just immediately get hit with like the worst sort of rotten vinegar smell.
Oh.
It's like a smell that when you breathe it in, even you with your natural attunement to acid, it burns your nostrils.
Oh, whoa. Is that vinegar? No.
What about vinegar? Lee just walks over to Failsy.
No, just my little prize from my puzzle box is a jar.
You think it has vinegar in it?
Probably not.
Do you want me to smell and confirm?
It'll burn your nose off.
Let me get a whiff.
Okay.
He just like leans down and waits to see if you're actually gonna like partially uncork the jar again.
That was let him have a whiff of this pungent, acidic miasma of death.
You just see his face, he sniffs it, no reaction at first, and it just slowly scrunches into itself. If that's vinegar, it's going bad. It's like his eyes have just become holes.
I wonder if it's magical.
Or some kind of magic. And he just walks away to do his watch.
Yeah. Put the stopper in properly again.
Yep. Alrighty then. You now have that.
I will check it out later with some magic.
It's a jar of rancid pudding.
Jar of something foul smelling.
Jar of stink this way comes. Alright then. And as part of Lee's watch, he is going to prepare breakfast for everyone.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. And they roll for his watch to see if anything happens. It doesn't. You all awaken again about 2 hours later to the delicious smell of more cooking pancakes, hash browns. You don't know where they came from, but it's Lee, so why question it?
I'm not questioning it.
He seems to have caught some form of small bird in the night, or as part of his watch. It has cooked up a couple of them to go along with breakfast.
In the early morning light.
Yeah. Looks like it's probably some form of wild pheasant.
Shrug Ket off of his arm and just.
Keta's gonna shuffle awake and get some food
Wait.
and just keep an
It's-
eye out.
Yeah, he has fried these pheasants, and it's not actually pancakes; it's waffles. And again, he does not have a waffle iron.
It's waffle cakes.
It's not chicken, but fried pheasant and waffles still seem like a good combination.
I've had worse.
All right, everyone, eat up. No one showed up yet, so I don't know if we're actually having anyone come in.
Just
Well-
look at Keta.
Well, one person showed up, but I don't know if that's an issue.
Oh,
You all look over. There's just an old man sitting beside Lee as he's cooking. Looks to be in his either late 50s or early 60s.
Does Keta recognize him?
No.
Okay.
But Brimstone, you recognize him.
Just.
What's that?
Ash, before we go any further, is the Moonlit Aria still reacting, or has it calmed down?
The reaction has become quieter because it essentially calmed itself down so it wouldn't be keeping you up.
But it's still reacting in a way.
Yeah, you're still getting that underline of there's something wrong, we need to do something about it type reaction.
But she can't figure out as to what part of it was reacting.
Yeah. If in order to do that, you'd probably have to commune with your sword. Which you could take some time to do if you so wanted to. But yeah, let me find a thing real quick. I'm going to post this into our mugshots, then describe it out of character for if anyone is watching the stream.
Okay.
Okay.
You all just see this obviously a bit older man. He has sort of just past his shoulders length brown hair that's grayed and it's grayed in strips, almost like a salt and pepper if his hair were black, but it is brown. He just has very gentle looking blue eyes as he just looks over the party as you've all woken up. And he is smiling, actually. He doesn't seem mad. But
Who's that?
yes, Brimstone, you unmistakably recognize this as the mortal form of the god Granum.
Well, Keta, you've met him. Well, he's met you before.
Oh, who died?
That I have.
No. Oh no.
Yeah.
Just pulling in on her blanket, covering herself like, no, I'm not here, I'm not here, I'm not here.
Keta, if your grandfather wanted to do something, he would have already done it by now.
There's just a quiet little, just, the blanket.
Want to fill the rest of us in on what's going on? Who this?
I suppose I can tell all of you who I am.
Yeah.
I'm known by a few different names. All of them titles granted by others. But I just prefer my name. I am Granum. And you all are in trouble.
He just says without the smile leaving his face.
You know, I thought you'd be taller.
Ozzy,
He just shrugs.
Many people have expectations. But I don't feel like imposing myself upon others is a good way to be a leader, like some of my sisters and brothers do.
Mm.
Ketchup picks up from underneath the blanket. If you're here, does that mean Mom's close as well?
I told little Vivian to stay back, though she was rather upset after receiving your mess.
No. Oh, God, I'm in so much trouble.
I don't know if that's better or worse for us, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, she is my daughter and definitely hot-headed.
Yeah.
But if I tell her to do something, she'll listen.
I'm gonna be grounded for so long.
I don't
shit, wait.
think... Hmm?
Captain finally realized, holy shit, this is actually my granddad.
I don't think grounding is all you'll have to worry about. Well, at least if you all had done any more than you had.
I think we panicked at least and got out of the pool.
Yes.
So what exactly did we fuck up?
He actually very poignantly looks at Morrigan.
An old seal meant to hold back an enemy most foul.
Had a feeling.
I have a question. She says as she's raising her hand from like as she's bundled up in a blanket.
He just gently extends a hand towards you, like you may speak.
So if it was meant to stay underneath the water and, you know, not be found by anybody. I'm the one that brought it to the surface.
Ah, yes.
Oh. Hey, Armored.
I took a quick headache, was listening to stream, figured really wanted to hop in.
Fair enough.
Alright. Well, luckily you haven't missed too much because Javinche... Okay.
I was listening to stream, so I'm up to speed. You don't have to recap me anything.
Alright, just making sure. Yeah, so at this point, Javinche, you come to as well.
Oh, look at that. Sleeping Beauty's finally up.
There is another man in the camp.
Bite me, gun boy.
No.
My granddad, the god of life, Granum.
Hello.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Partially the reason I exist.
he immediately goes and just scrambles to his feet to give a quick bow.
No need for that. And to be honest, I would prefer if people didn't do that.
Yeah.
He's not a Quilla, he's not a dick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
I will admit my brother is very hot-headed. Very self-sure of of everything he does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
definitely has an ego.
Yeah.
So, circling back around to my question, is it because of the guitar?
It is because the guitar and you.
Who she is or what she is?
Yes.
Well, those are one and the same, are they not?
Mhm.
She
I'm not-
is what she is.
Technically, I think the only one of what I am.
No,
I was meaning more of art, do music.
oh, no. It's simply because she holds my blood and
No.
played with my magic.
I fucked everything. I fucked everything up bad.
You did not.
Guess
The
that makes sense. Yeah, considering.
can the rod be put back in and fix what was?
Yes, it can.
What is in the egg? What is in that crystal?
Something terrible.
Yes,
Wait, it's
but
an
what?
egg?
It's like egg.
Failsy, make a persuasion check.
I wasn't aware that's an egg. Maybe I wasn't.
Really, the only people who were strictly aware of it were Failsy and Keta, because
Yeah.
they
But-
said that it was like, they said they thought it was an egg, but they're the only ones who saw it.
Yeah, it's just.
Persuasion.
Yep.
22.
All right,
What's in the egg?
time to roll God stats.
It's fine.
Oh,
He's just a level 30 druid. It's fine.
Oh, you need a DC 30 to beat this.
Yeah, you need a 30 to have a chance.
All right.
Get to stop doing that. I'm sure he can understand you anyways.
Because now Fails is thinking that the egg is awake.
Well, I wouldn't concern yourselves with that.
I don't need to know what's in there to know that it's not. It's terrible.
I kind of need to know because the goblins had seen the crystal.
All the goblins are not dead.
Yes,
The-
but how did they see the crystal if they didn't have a Keta with them?
Well, I will say this, guys. Even when it had gone back under the under the ground, still like the tip of it was exposed.
Yeah, it's just being exposed to the rest of the body.
Yeah.
Well, that actually might be a good thing to explain that we found the crystal. A group of goblins were intending to, well, just gestures to the hole.
Yes,
This all open and bring that crystal out.
yes.
It was,
At one point, that cave was not there. We had capped it off entirely. But those creatures of that magnitude have ways of calling out to others.
You're talking about creatures like...
So it's not dead, it's dormant.
You don't seal something that's dead.
Isn't that what a grave's for?
Well, if you
No.
put iron in it to stop it.
Oh.
The
Put
a grave is for the living, not the dead.
But they're dead when you put. Oh, that's a okay, got it.
Is it a fey origin? Is that why the things are made out of iron?
The iron is there because it prevents all form.
And it's powerful enough to warrant being sealed.
Yes.
So we just shouldn't touch it. We just have the iron rod driven back in and we just leave it alone.
Yes. I do not wish to tell you all the full story because it is long, and I cannot be here very long.
I'm sorry we had to pull you away from whatever you were doing. That was probably a lot more important than this.
It's good to get away on occasion. I will, however, tell you all, and specifically you, Morgan.
Yes.
What is inside that stone is what the Aria died to stop. If she wants to tell you that story, she can.
I had a feeling, considering when I saw even just a glimpse of it yesterday, I felt fear, anger, so many emotions that I was not expecting to feel when I saw it.
So we really pissed off that sword.
I don't think it was... Well, if you were turned into a sword and then you saw the thing that killed you, you'd be pissed off too.
I think I'd be more pissed off that I'm a sword, but fair.
I don't know the exact details of why or how. That was not a deal struck with me. That was a deal struck with my companion god, Grimma.
Yeah, I don't think I want to meet them quite yet.
I really want to meet a god at the moment right now too. I barely survived being out at sea. I think I just want to... Oh, I'm good.
Okay, but that's your grandpa at least, so you know.
Garma's
Still
not
kind of terrifying.
as...
You have grown to be rather large, Keta. You were barely more than a bean when I first saw you.
Yeah.
I'm 5 foot.
I just love the little exasperated. I'm 5 foot.
She's just chugging water at this point.
Sip, 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 sip.
Alright, so we should probably
This has
seal
been
that
a
up.
mental past 3 days, and I think I just want to sit down for a few minutes.
Do so.
Yeah. Probably
I will-
should seal that up first.
I will actually say this to all of you. You know, or at least you assume you're currently in the presence of a god. It doesn't feel like that.
Especially,
yeah.
I'm guessing Da Vinci especially knows. Probably had the second most experience with gods out of the party.
Yeah, you have been personally in the presence of 2 other gods, and they have an intense force of presence about them.
Yeah, this is
This
the only
person does not.
It's the only one that Brimstone's ever encountered.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was like that the first time as well.
Yes.
Do I explode now?
What? Oh,
I think you cut out slightly from. I just heard I explode. I'm just like, is Keta entering Sublucidus form?
Keta just kind of says that after she chugs water, she goes, "Do you know I explode now?" On occasion.
That sounds
yeah.
about right for Sublucidus.
Wait, they all did that?
In varying forms, but many did simply appear to violently shed their physical form to become a more powerful version of themselves.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Yes.
Considering Vivian can do the whole. Yeah.
Yes.
Before you go in there and seal up what we fucked up, I know this may be a lot asking of a god, but could I just have a hug?
He just stands up and
Yeah, Keta will
just
hug him.
opens his arms.
Yeah.
It's a very careful hug. You'll notice.
Be careful not to fucking crush her.
Yeah, it is very. It's a bit like how Lee hugs you, where it's like, it's so tiny and I don't want to hurt it.
Oh, no.
Almost like when a person cuddles a baby or a small kitten.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, but to Grainham, we're all babies.
Well, yeah.
But it's just. It is gentle, but not in a way that is intended to be distant.
It's just that Keta is the most baby.
I said at least finally see you in person. Mom's told me a lot of stories.
I was hoping to one day have you come to our citadel, but I understand that you have reservations about the church.
Well, I at least plan on telling the church, or at least the normal church, about, and she kind of motions to her integrity.
I understand.
Just have some missions, I guess. You know, the whole
Indeed.
being a hero.
Yes. Vivian did tell me about them.
Oh no.
Yes, she was very off-put by what you intend to do.
If it happens, but if I do find the font, I'll make sure to return it to the Citadel.
He just gives you a slow nod, just like, that is the correct thing to do.
Everything Grainham does is like very measured.
Then she's gonna pull away and then immediately run over to Lee and just press face into the arm. I'm good.
And I am a pillow.
You notice. Sorry, what?
Just Stravincia was going to say something, but continue.
Where,
I was.
sorry.
Everyone is talking.
Elsie, go ahead.
Where are you sending the energy away from these rods?
Back to where it should be. Back to elsewhere.
What's in elsewhere?
It is the plane of magic.
Fucking magic.
It is where spirits and all things magical return to and are born from.
It's also where all the where Magisteria is all broken up in.
There's a slow, measured head turn towards you, Dervinche.
You shouldn't have did that.
My apologies, I spoke out of turn.
You're not incorrect. She was the god of magic after all. It is a terrible thing that happened when she was taken by madness. I hope eventually we can return her to her previous form.
I mean, her child's still a fucking psychopath, but
Game master is game master.
I mean, at least I got the cool sword from him, so I mean, I guess some neutral.
May I ask, pardon me, Graham, but may I ask you a few questions maybe after you fix the seal?
I can only spare a few more moments, but you may.
I think best to fix that before.
He walks over to the iron javelin that is still sitting on the ground.
I suppose it is actually a good thing you all did this. I didn't realize the seal had deteriorated this much.